everyone. It is Tuesday morning. This is Chattin with CHAP, and I'm your host, Ginger Wade. I'm so glad you've joined me today. Our topic for today will be about steadfastness. Before we jump into that, I'm going to give you the tip of the day, which is to make a list of field trips and other activities that you've done for your portfolio. Also, photos of your field trips and any literature that you would pick up at your field trips is another great thing to put into your portfolio. I always like to do a little photo book of the stuff that we've done. So that's always fun to take to your evaluations, or just to have on hand, just to remember the year. Anyway, that's your tip of the day. So let's jump into our topic today about being steadfast. So here we are. It's February 7th. We haven't had too much of a winter so far, but it's that time of the year when you get that it's 2/3 of the way through the school year feeling, right? It's kind of getting to be like drudgery. You got the blues going on maybe. Can't be out as much as you have in the past because of the weather. Well, that hasn't been too bad, but it's still kind of gross. Is this your first time having those winter blues? Is this your first time encountering the 2/3 of the way through the year blah? Are you thinking about quitting because it's getting kind of hard and gross? Well, don't. Is your curriculum not what you thought? Are your kids sick of the work? Is the house a disaster area? Do you want to just give up? Don't. This is the time of year that tries homeschoolers' souls. That may sound kind of familiar. The luster's worn off. We're cold, we're sick, and it's a grind. This is where the rubber meets the road, homeschoolers. Remember, you're not the only one. The reason I'm doing a video on it is because we all get to feeling like this. We all need encouragement. We all need to hear the hang on, hang in there, hang on, keep going. There are many homeschoolers that are battling these same feelings, especially this time of year, starting in the beginning of February, going through February, maybe even March. If winter decides to show up in March, that can get really hard to handle. Remember this message, be steadfast. Think of Hebrews 12, verse 1. I'm going to read it. I put on my old lady glasses. Right, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Run with perseverance that race. Keep on running. Be encouraged to continue on and encourage someone else. When you don't focus on yourself, but you take the time to focus on someone else and encouraging them in their walk, or at least having a conversation about how you're both in the 2/3 of the way through slog, that it can be encouraging. It can be encouraging to you, it can be encouraging to them. But build each other up, okay? And it's okay to acknowledge that you're feeling this way. Dealing with disappointments is an important part of life, but it doesn't mean to stop, okay? It doesn't mean that you should give up. Okay, remember the reasons that you homeschool. So important to remember your goals and to remember your reasons. One of the reasons we homeschool is so that our children know the truth, right? We had posted a meme last year that said if education is not based on truth, it's worthless, it's nothing. So knowing the truth is so important in education and in learning. So your ministry, and you might be doing many different ministries, but your most important ministry is to your children. Homeschooling is a ministry because you're educating and training your children in the way they should go. So we're reminded the importance of this education in 2 Timothy. I'm going to read something to you from 2 Timothy also. That's from chapter 4, verses 3-5. It says, for the time will come when men will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears will want to hear. They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. But you keep your head in all situations. Keep your head in the slog of February and March. Keep your head in all situations. Endure hardship. Do the work of an evangelist. Discharge all the duties of your ministry. Remember, your ministry is homeschooling. Discharge all the duties. Stick through it. Be steadfast. Keep going. It is hard work, and it is tiring. And when we don't get out and get sun, and we don't get exercise, we get kind of blah in our own bodies, and we don't feel like doing the stuff, but we have to keep going. Maybe the trick is to get some exercise, and to get some sunshine, or get a sunlight, or a red lamp, or whatever it is that helps with the sun stuff. It's helpful. It's tiring. Homeschooling is tiring. Homeschooling is hard work, but it is what is right. Paul reminds us in 2 Thessalonians 3:13, as for you, brothers, never tire in what is doing right. Right? So we continue doing what is right because we know it's for the good of our children, for the good of our family, for the good of our communities. It's for the good. We keep doing what is right. So be steadfast. Grow in perseverance. Endure the tedium of midwinter. It is real. It is real. But you're not the only one who's going through it. Okay? You know you've made the right choice to homeschool. Don't doubt yourself. And don't doubt maybe the curriculum isn't working out. That's fine. But don't doubt the fact that you have your children home. Don't doubt that you should have them home. So ministering to your children it's a long-term goal, right? We have the short-term goals that you can see, oh, we got the work page done, or we got the craft done, or whatever. Those are short-term things. Sometimes they turn out, sometimes they don't. Sometimes we fail the short-term goals. But we have to, in these seasons where it feels like drudgery, we have to keep our eyes way out there on that long-term goal. What is your long-term goal? You're training up your children in the way they should go. You're having them near to you. They're making sure that their education is founded on truth. You're teaching them good character qualities, right? These are the goals that we have for our children. These are long-term. You might not see fruits of character for years. It could be when they graduate that you start to see it. But when it comes, I guarantee you, Mama, it's amazing. Be steadfast. Keep on keeping on. It will come. Keep pouring into your kids. So don't forget that long-term goal of training up your children and ministering to them. So it's that mentality of endurance. Okay, we have to think hard, pushing it. You know, in our society, man, we want it easy. Give me the easy button. Give me the pain-free option. That's really not real. It's not real for anything, homeschooling or anything. It's just not real. That's not life. So we have to train ourselves for perseverance and endurance. So what you're doing is important. Remember that. It is so important what you are doing in training your children. They need it. You need it. You're both going to benefit mutually. Trust me, you're all going to benefit from being at home together and growing together. So in some of this, sometimes it does get really hard in the winter. So it's okay to take stock. It's okay to look at your situation and what's going on with your school. Or education, I should say. I don't like using the term school. I'm going to talk about that in another week or two. What is going on? Should you just grit your teeth and dig in your heels and, grind through it? Just keep pushing through. You're going to get through. It'll be fine. Is that, do you just need a little boost to keep on going? Or should you stop doing something that you're doing because it's really, really not helping? Or should you start doing something that you haven't been doing because, maybe you're lacking in working on character growth, or maybe there's something else that's going on that you really should have been doing that, so maybe I should get it started. Go ahead and evaluate. See what's going on in your situation. Consider some change. Also, the midwinter blues, okay, spice it up. Change it up. Do a field trip. I know our co-op, we're going to a maple sugaring thing at the end of February. That's a cool way to get things, jostled up a little bit. Or have a craft day, have a game day. If we get some snow someday, maybe we'll get some snow. Make it a fun snow day, a big, huge, woohoo, snow day. Even the public school kids don't get snow days anymore because they do virtual class. So make snow a big deal. Do something that kind of livens up what you're doing to help you get through the winter slog. But don't give up. Be steadfast in what you're doing. Okay, there is so much value in what you're doing. Don't doubt your choice to have your kids home with you. So there's also another scripture. I share a lot of scripture today because there's so much encouragement for being steadfast. There's one more I want to share, Revelation 14:12. It says, this calls for patient endurance on the part of the saints who obey God's commands and remain faithful to Jesus. So as we remain faithful to Jesus, it does require us to have that patient endurance. So some of the things that we're called to do, that we're asked to do, that we are led to do, doesn't mean it's going to be easy. There is patient endurance that has to happen as we go through these things that we've been called to. So, homeschoolers out there, remain faithful. Remain faithful to the calling to train your children. Endure patiently. There's so much character growth that happens with the supervisor, with the leaders of the homeschool. We learn so much and we grow so much in our character through this. Probably it's such much of a learning experience and a changer for us as it is for our children. So endure patiently, okay? So as you do this and you teach them to endure patiently and to keep on keeping on and to do the hard thing and to learn how to be spontaneous and throw something fun in, these are all good things that you're doing as you train your children to follow Christ in all of life, right? So welcome Christ into all these things. You can pray about it with your kids. Pray about how to make it exciting and new. But you're training your children how to work through those hard times. You know, when you don't really feel like it, but you know it's a good thing to do and you need to do it. Okay? And sometimes we do need to pray about that and pray about our hearts and where our hearts are at and if we need some change in our hearts. So this is good, valuable stuff. So it's not just about the academics. It's about your heart. It's about teaching your children about working through hard times. So think about the midwinter blues and the slog as about another opportunity for growth and change in you and your children. It's valuable stuff. There's a reason for all the seasons. You know, there's a time for every season under heaven, right? There's a reason for all the stuff, and we can learn through everything. So take joy in that. Take joy in that. Next week, I'm going to have my special guest, Eliza, on. We're going to talk about mentoring, some fun things going on in the mentoring world. And then coming up in March and April, I'm going to have a ton of interviews, people we're going to meet who are going to be at convention, and just very interesting things to be aware of out there for those of you who may not be aware that we have a convention, but it would be good for you to know about this stuff. So tune in, keep tuning in, good things are coming, and share our video with others. We've got a podcast out there too. Look for Chattin with CHAP on your podcast platforms. You will find us out there. Share that with others, please, too. We would appreciate that. And I will see you again next Tuesday. So, homeschoolers out there, be steadfast. Keep plugging on. You've got this. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye now.